Tiny Little Seed with a Great Big Heart by Timothy Ewing. Once upon a time, there was a farmer named John who lived on a farm with his wife Jan and children, Emily, Annie, Evan, and Westley. Farmer John lived in the beautiful village of Happy Smiles, nestled between rolling hills and long winding streams. Happy Smiles was renowned for its lush and breathtaking landscapes and lively community, where everyone knew each other's name. Farmer John's farmland was a patch of paradise on the edge of the village. His cottage, a charming farmhouse with a thatched roof and a white picket fence, stood at the heart of the property. Surrounding it were acres of fields decorated with rows of blossoming flowers, each variety arranged to create a kaleidoscope of colors. The farmland itself was a canvas painted with nature's brilliance. Beyond the fields of flowers, there were orchards bearing fruits of every kind, apple trees standing tall, their branches heavy with red and green apples, and peach trees with branches that swayed in the gentle breeze. A fragrant herb garden bordered one side of the farmhouse, providing a heavenly smell to the blooming flowers. In the back of the property, there was a small, rippling brook that moved its way through the land, its crystal-clear waters reflecting the blue sky above. A wooden bridge spanned the brook, leading to a secret garden where Mrs. Thompson, the farmer's wife, grew her favorite roses. This hidden sanctuary was a peaceful and quiet place, decorated with benches and surrounded by climbing vines. The children often played near the brook in the nearby fields, exploring the wonders of nature that surrounded them. One day, as they walked through the fields, Annie stumbled upon a small, tiny seed lying near the edge of the water. Unlike the other seeds she had seen her dad plant, this one was noticeably smaller. Curious, Annie picked up the tiny seed in her hands. To her surprise, a gentle voice emerged from it, saying, "Don't judge me by my size, dear girl. I may be small, but within me lies the potential for the most beautiful flower your garden has ever seen. Take a chance on me, and you won't be disappointed." Annie, fascinated by the seed's mysterious voice, couldn't believe her ears. She called out to her siblings who were playing by the brook. "Hey, Emily, Westley, and Evan, come over here. You won't believe what I found." Annie exclaimed, excitement bubbling in her voice. The siblings, drawn by Annie's enthusiasm, gathered around her, their eyes widening as she held the small seed in her palm. "What is it, Annie?" Westley asked, leaning in for a closer look. "It's not just a seed, it talks," Annie said with a mixture of awe and amazement in her eyes. The gentle voice echoed again, addressing the curious siblings. "Do not be afraid, dear children. I am the tiny little seed with a big heart, and I carry the potential for abundant beauty. Take a chance on me, and together we can create something magical." Evan grinned. "A talking seed? That's something you don't see every day." Emily, always the imaginative one, chimed in. "Maybe it's a magical seed. What if it grows into a flower that grants wishes?" Westley, the youngest, giggled. "I want a flower that sparkles like the stars." The children, fascinated by the little seed's words, decided to bring their newfound discovery to their father, the wise farmer with a heart as warm as the sun. "Dad, you won't believe what we found!" Evan exclaimed as they raced back to the farmhouse. Farmer John looked up with a warm smile. "What's got you all so excited?" Annie carefully opened her hand and held it up to her father to see. Curious, Farmer John picked up the tiny seed in his weathered hands. To his surprise, a gentle voice emerged from it, saying, "Don't judge me by my size, dear farmer. I may be small, but within me lies the potential for the most beautiful flower your garden has ever seen. Take a chance on me, and you won't be disappointed." Farmer John, touched by the enthusiasm of his children and the enchanting and delightful voice of the seed, looked at them with a twinkle in his eye. "Well, I've always believed in the magic of the garden. Let's plant this little seed and see what wonders it brings." Despite its size, the little seed seemed to produce a unique energy, and Farmer John couldn't resist the idea of nurturing something so seemingly ordinary yet extraordinary. Days turned into weeks, and as the seed struggled to break through the soil, Farmer John worried that perhaps he had made a mistake. The seed, however, continued to encourage him with words of hope. "Patience, my friend. Great things take time. I may be small, but I will grow big and beautiful," it would say, to comfort the farmer who had taken a chance on it. Seeing the concerned look on her father's face, Annie asked, "What's wrong, Daddy?" Farmer John explained, "You know that this seed is special, but it seems to be having some trouble growing. Can we help Daddy?" asked Westley, now also extremely concerned for the tiny seed. "Yeah, Daddy, can we help?" echoed Emily. "I think that's a great idea," Farmer John said, so the children got quickly to work. Each day, they watered the seed, pulled out weeds around it, and even sang songs to it. Days turned into weeks, and the little seed began to grow taller and taller. It still wasn't as big as the other flowers, but it was growing stronger every day. As the story goes, the brave little seed not only captured the attention of the children, but also began to talk with them as well. It would whisper words of encouragement when they sang their songs and share tales of its journey through the soil. The children were amazed to find out that the little seed had a personality of its own. The children continued to care for the little seed, and their friendship grew stronger. They would share stories, dreams, and even jokes with the little seed. The garden became a magical place where laughter and love blossomed alongside the vibrant flowers. One day, Westley asked the little seed, "Why are you so small compared to the other flowers, yet so strong?" The seed chuckled, its voice resembling the gentle rustling of leaves, and replied, "Strength is not always measured in size. I may be small, but I have the heart of a giant." As the seed grew, it began to encounter doubts. "Why am I not growing as fast as the others?" It wondered aloud to Evan one afternoon. Evan, with a reassuring smile, replied, "Don't worry, little seed. You're special, and special things take time. We believe in you." "Yeah, you can do it!" Annie yelled, hoping her words would cheer up the little seed. The little seed found comfort in the children's words, and day by day, it grew stronger. It spoke not only to the children, but also to Farmer John and Jan too, expressing gratitude for their care. "Your love gives me strength," it whispered to the farmer and his wife as they worked in the garden. One day, the sky grew really dark. Farmer John told everyone to get inside as a huge storm was coming. "Will the little seed be okay?" asked Emily, concerned for her little seed friend. "I don't want it to die," said Evan. "Me either," added Westley. "Let's go check on it to make sure he's okay," concluded Annie, as she rushed out the door with her siblings and parents close behind. The rain was now getting heavier and heavier. When everyone arrived in the garden, Annie asked, "Are you okay, little seed?" The little seed spoke to the children in calming tones, assuring them that it would weather the storm. "I may sway in the wind, but I won't break. Just like you, I find strength in adversity and difficult times," it said. Farmer John, looking at the storm, said, "Okay, we have to trust that God will take care of our little seed, and that all the hard work we have done to take care of him has paid off. This storm is getting worse. We should get inside as soon as possible." So, everyone ran as fast as they could back to the house to wait out the storm. That night, they all took turns praying for the little seed, asking God to protect him and help him not be scared during the storm. Tired from a long day, they got their pajamas on, read a bedtime story, and finally fell asleep in their beds. The next morning, they all woke up super early and rushed to the garden to see if their seed was okay. Annie got there first and yelled to her siblings, "He's okay!" As the others finally caught up to Annie in the garden, Evan said, "I knew he'd be okay." "Yeah," said Emily. "Look at how tall and handsome he is," pointing to the flower that had grown from the little seed. The little seed had not only grown into a stunning, beautiful flower, but had also become a symbol of resilience, friendship, and the power of nurturing care. Word of the brave little seed's amazing journey spread like wildfire through Happy Smiles Village. It started with the children excitedly sharing the story with their friends, who in turn couldn't resist telling it to their families. Annie, with her eyes sparkling, explained, "You have to see it. The brave little seed turned into the most beautiful flower in Dad's garden." Curious and excited, the villagers followed the children to Farmer John's garden. As they entered the delightful garden full of blossoms and colors, gasps of amazement echoed through the air. The little seed, now a magnificent flower with vibrant petals and a sweet fragrance, stood tall and proud at the center of the garden. "It's true," Westley exclaimed, his eyes wide with delight. "The flower sparkles like the stars, just like I wished." The villagers stared at the beauty that stood before them. Farmer John, with a humble smile, shared the story of the brave little seed and how it had transformed his garden into a place of magic and wonder. News of the extraordinary flower spread even farther, reaching neighboring villages. People traveled from distant lands to witness the beauty and miracle of the brave little seed's journey. Happy Smiles Village, once known for its lush and breathtaking landscapes and close-knit community, now held an additional charm. A garden that bore witness to the extraordinary journey of a little seed that spoke, believed, and flourished. And so, the legend of the little seed became a cherished part of the village's history, a story passed down through generations, inspiring hope and wonder for years to come. A special note from the author. Our story is a bit like the ones we hear from the Bible. Imagine a tiny seed, just like the small mustard seed Jesus talked about. It may be tiny, but it holds big, wonderful things inside, just like you. Remember how the tiny little seed faced some tough times, but grew into a beautiful flower? It's a bit like how God sees the good stuff inside us, even when we're small. We might have hard days, but with patience, love, and caring, we can bloom into something amazing. Think about the storm the tiny little seed went through. We face tough times too, right? But just like the seed stayed strong, we can remember that God helps us through our challenges. And you know what? The beautiful garden at the end shows us how love can make wonderful things happen. The Bible says we should be kind and loving, just like the farmer and his kids were to the tiny little seed. So, always remember that you have lots of fantastic things inside you, just waiting to grow. Trust in your journey. Be kind to others, and you'll become something special, just like the tiny little seed.